Hello there, everybody. Look what just arrived. We have The Witch's Oracle by Sally Morningstar, illustrated by Danuta Mayer. I hope I said that right. 42 divinatory cards and guidebook. So I think this is a new release, but we'll just check the release date on it. But it's definitely new to me. So today we're going to do an unboxing. We're going to walk through the cards and we're going to give some first impressions on this and see what we think. If you have this deck, leave a comment in the box down below. What do you think of it? How does it read for you? Do you use it just for yourself, single card pulls, or do you do spreads with it? Always love to see and hear other people's opinions and experiences with these things. So if I can get the pesky cellophane off of this thing, I should really take this off before I start the camera. But anyway, here we go. So we have a very nice sturdy box. It's actually quite large in this. It's probably, I don't know, probably at least seven inches, maybe 8, something like that. Anyways, it's a pretty big box, but it is solid. It is sturdy. So that's good. The back of this, let's see, does it have a printed date? It does not right here. It usually does on the book, though. Develop your latent intuitive skills and discover Wiccan wisdom with this beautifully illustrated divinatory deck and guidebook pack. Featuring key Wiccan symbols and archetypes, the cards help you connect to a place of deep inner knowing to find the answers you seek. Each card represents a quality of energy and carries its own particular meaning in a reading, while high notes and low notes offer insight into the possibilities and pitfalls you're likely to encounter on your present course, including fascinating background on the history of Wicca and the Wiccan festivals throughout the year, along with this selection of card spreads to help address all kinds of inquiry. The Witch's Oracle will help you weave magic into your life as you set out on your quest for guidance. So let's see, we've got a ribbon to pull on here. So look at this. Ooh, okay. This is, all right, it pulls out like a drawer, but I think the box is like being squished a little bit. Whew, there we go. I'll probably have to just pull that box apart just a little bit. Usually what I do is I just kind of go like this just a little bit and just give it a little bit more breathing room. It doesn't ruin the box or anything, but it may have just gotten like compacted during travel. So it looks like we've got a big book coming in here. So the front is nice in color. It looks relatively thick in this book. How many pages? Let's see. Are the pages numbered? Yep, here they are. 126 pages. So we've got right at the back, we've got a card of the day, single card pull. We've got a quick question spread. Let's see what else we have. Is that the only spread that we've got here? Let's have a look. No, there might be more. Oh, here we go. We have a star spread there. Let's see. Sometimes they put the spreads at the front, sometimes at the back. We have an ascension spread there. It looks like using chakras. What else do we have? Oh, we've got quite a few. We've got relationship spreads. We've got 1, 2, 3 of them. Feminine triangle, masculine triangle, relationship potential. That's always quite handy. So it looks like, is that all the spreads? Yes, it is. Okay. So the book itself, fairly thick. It is big, right? So it's like regular sized book, I guess. I don't know. Is there such a thing as regular sized book? I should probably not say that. Most likely not. Printed in this edition, published in 2019, so it is not new. It's just new to me. And actually, it looks like it's a re-release. Originally published in 2001 is the copyright on there. So very older one. So they probably just revived it. So we have some history and tradition here. We've got Wicca. You do not need to be Wicca, by the way, to use these things. It's just giving some insight into those. And of course, Wicca is a little bit more of, we'll call it a version of religion, not quite religion. But there's a lot of witches that are not Wicca, right? You don't have to be Wicca to be a witch or to do witchy kind of practices and spells and things like that. So you can be totally free form. However, we do have a wheel of the year here. We've got a recipe for some divination tea. So we've got, this is quite interesting actually, we've got like Samhain here, we've got October 31st, and some herbs that are associated with that. We've got Yule, so it does have like some really cool things in here. Imbolc, Ostara, Beltane, Letha. I can never say that one. I'm not even going to try. Lugnash, I think. Anyways, Mabon or Mabon, depending on how you say it. So, and then we've got the cards and their meanings here. It is not in color, but we've got a bit of information. So chalice, for example, fertility. We've got the vibration, your sacral chakra, and your keywords, fertility, healing, and harmony. Very similar to an ace of cups, let's say. In the tarot, it says what chalices represent, the meanings there. High note, you are a vessel for divine grace to fill, and low note, embody what you would like to become. All right, so let's see, like we've got things like the moon. So we've got some good information there, not particularly super long, so it's not going to, you're not reading an entire book just on one card. It's very clear and very to the point by the looks of it. So pretty cool right there. So immediately right out of the box. Okay, so the bottom of the box here, it's got this stupid plastic insert, which these ones, is this Rockpool? I'm not sure if this is Rockpool Publishing. Rockpool tends to do stuff like that. They have a massive book, usually Edison books, so it's a little bit different. But yeah, what happens is they tend to make this massive book, and then the cards in relation to the book are quite small. And then they put this stupid insert in there. I would love it and prefer it if they made the book and the cards a little bit more in tune with each other's size, and the book would end up being a little bit thicker or maybe in some slightly smaller print. But at least then, if you wanted to travel around with these, you could put both in a pouch, right? You could get a pouch that is equal in size, or relatively anyway, right? And you could put them both in there together. So it's not my favorite. It's not my favorite kind of setup, but it does tend to be. There's certain publishers that tend to do that quite often. So anyway, so right here, not a huge fan of the borders. I knew they had borders before I got them, before they came in. But anyways, I mean, I don't super hate them, but don't love them. But if you are a card trimmer, you could certainly trim the edges of these cards and get rid of that border very easily. There's nothing written in the border, so it is just plain Jane. So it, very easy to do that. Some cards, they've got this big massive border, and then at the bottom they'll have like the name of something there, and it's like, why? So then it's hard to trim those, or you can, but maybe just on three sides. So it gets kind of annoying in that way. But anyways, let's pull that off of there. We don't need that. Let's have a look at the cardstock. Ooh, it's actually quite good. So it is glossy. You can see the reflection on there. It is glossy. They feel good. They feel silky. They're actually fairly thick. So it's actually pretty good. If I flick them like this, it's not too bad. If I go like this, not too bad. So fairly sturdy. These should hold up to quite a bit of use. The card size, they're actually just a little bit bigger than regular tarot size. So if you have smaller hands, I mean, this is my hand, right? I've got fairly long fingers, and I can still go like this around them. So not too bad for me. But if you have smaller hands, again, very easy to trim. Trim the back of the cards, fairly plain. So it's got a pentagram right there, and they're like a deep royal. It looks like a deep royal purple. Oh, there's some stars in there, I think. There's like some stars in there. Hard to see, but they are there. So it's very subtle, but it does look kind of purpley. It's not quite black. Yeah, no, it's not quite black. So some deep, deep, deep purple there. So if you did want to trim them, you're not going to get rid of any fancy design off the back of the cards or anything like that. All right. So not gilded or anything too bad, but that's all right. So pretty good. These will probably spread quite nicely. So if you are someone that spreads them, not too bad there. They're a little bit sticky, but not too bad. Probably just work with them a little bit, and you'll be able to just kind of break them in just a little bit. So let's have a look through these things and see what these cards look like. Again, the size isn't too bad, so you should be able to shuffle them, no problem. I don't riffle shuffle my cards like ever because it ruins the cards. But if you wanted to, I mean, I could riffle shuffle these. Granted, the cardstock is pretty thick, so they're not going to bend too easily, which is actually a good thing. I usually do shuffle my cards like this way, right, and fold them into each other that way. But you could also shuffle your cards this way if you've got smaller hands. Probably pretty easy to do that. So there's a lot of different ways to shuffle. Don't get too caught up in it. Just do whatever works for you. There's no right way. There's no wrong way. And it's like the least thing that I think about ever. All right, so let's have a look at the cards. All right, first one, we have Arcadia there with Heritage. Kind of nice, very green, very earthy in that energy. We've got a bat. I like bats. Bats are so awesome. Bats get a bad rap, you know. I mean, you know, they do carry disease and stuff, but a lot of animals, a lot of wildlife does. But bats are just so cool. They're so beneficial for the environment too. They eat so many bugs. If you have a mosquito problem, put up a bat house in your backyard or on your balcony, and you will never have a mosquito again. Anyways, bat rebirth in consciousness there. Here's the chalice that we already saw. Very Ace of Cups kind of look to it, but fertility there, and we see all this growth coming in. That's very nice. Candle, that is a beautiful card. We've got a peacock there. We've got rainbows. Look at this beautiful rainbow aura there on that candle itself. So very pretty in that with illumination. We have Spiral coming in there with Attraction. So this deck will most likely, I don't know 100%, might take you through some of the sigils and some of the like symbology that are on here, right? So hopefully it does. If not, you can always look them up. In the days of Google, we can find pretty much anything. We have Bell with Awakening, Gaia, Healing. It's a very interesting image for Gaia. Almost looks mermaidy. Right? Got like the scales. Very interesting. It would be a very interesting card to read. Anyways, we have the Familiar with Ally. The Lady, Embodiment. The Green Man. He always looks kind of scary, but he isn't. The Green Man brings growth. Very cool. Tree, door in the tree. Card 11, Mirror, Perception. Got a phoenix in the background. And it is card 11. 11s do tend to represent new beginnings and also like the next level in things as well. So kind of cool. The Silver Bow, Love. Cloak, Camouflage. The High Priest, Guardian. Moon, Timing. Yeah, Moon, all about those cycles, right? Card 16, Neophyte, Study. Broomstick, Cleansing. That's actually kind of cool. We've got the sun and the moon, almost like a little bit eclipsey. And eclipses do bring about massive cleansing for a lot of us. Eclipse things in and out of your life. We've got Pentacle with Evocation. Serpent, Power, card 19. Looks like we've got like, we've got masculine and feminine with the temptation and the apple there. Or if you grew up in a Christian household, right? We've got Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, right? We've got the wand with intention. It's kind of a really cool looking card. Six-rayed star with unification. See like a little bit of reflection, like as above, so below. We've got like night and day, light and dark. Very interesting. We've got our black cat, psychism, card 22. Love the black cat. I used to have a black cat. He had white feet. His name was Boots. Anyways, I'm in line for another cat right about now. Athame or Athame, depending on how you say it. And we've got Commander of Power. Holy Stone, Protection. And that's a stone with a hole in it. Okay, there we go. We have Nemesis, Lessons. Probably very devilish in that energy. The Cauldron, the Womb. The cauldron is where we create things, right? You mix things in your cauldron or burn things in your cauldron, right? Remember when it's fire safe, but it's also leak proof there. It's where you create your spells and your magic. We've got Cave with Retreat. The spider pattern. Spiders also get a bad rap, kind of just like the bats. But I mean, I don't want a spider crawling across me or on my table. But at the same time, I also don't want bugs in my house. And so if you have a spider, chances are you're not going to have as many bugs or insects around. But spiders are also highly creative as well. I mean, they're really quite magical when you really think about it. You know, they can create a web in a very short amount of time. And if you look at them, they're actually really quite intricate and they serve a purpose, but they're also really pretty. Anyways, so spider patterns. We have the Queen of Elfame, Magic and Beauty. Cord, Initiation. Sometimes we want to cut cords, of course. We have the Raven, Keeper of Secrets. Ravens are so mystical and they usually are bringing us some sort of message from high above. Spell, Enchantment, beautiful little fairy in there. The Horned God, Life Force. Again, something that looks scary, but is not. We've got the Cone of Power, Energy. The Crystal Ball with Insight. 36, the Goddess, Transcendence. 37, Holy Water, Purification. Sword, Aspiration, number 38, looks very, we've got a dragon there, breathing some fire, protecting us, but we've also got this single sword there, very Ace of Swords looking in that. We've got the Wizard, Spiritual Impeccability. Number 40, we've got the Owl, Wisdom Keeper, unlock your wisdom right there, the keyhole. 41, Book of Shadows, Experience. So, you know, as you do go along through your divination practice, maybe you're very experienced or maybe you're a newbie, the Book of Shadows is where you keep your information, right? So your experiences, your Book of Shadows is, you know, where you keep your invocations and your spells and your recipes and things like that, right? So it's like, you know, some people have many Book of Shadows with that because they get full quite quickly. We have the Crone, Release. Very nice. So there's all our cards right there. So that is that deck. Now that I've pulled them all apart, will these spread a little bit easier? Not too bad. They're a little bit sticky on there. But again, it's probably just the finish on the cards. So I know from experience with other finishes like this that they will loosen up with time, right? So the more you use them, the less friction that they'll have with each other. Anyways, so that is the Witch's Oracle. So let me know, do you have this deck? Did you like the look of this deck? If you're interested in it, I'll put the link to purchase down below. But yeah, if you have it, let me know what you think of it, how it works for you, all of that. Always interested in sparking that dialogue with you guys. So I thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.